Hey guys, Zyback here, and this is going to be the commentary version of us fighting a rank 1 Warrior Warlock Paladin as Feral Rogue Priest. And this is our first time playing the comp. I think this was our first game and our first time playing against this comp, so we were totally just winging it. But we decided to go on the Warlock to see if we could force some easy cooldowns, maybe trick them into blowing cooldowns they didn't really need to just by raw burst damage on the Warlock, and it worked. The Warlock blew port. He probably had to blow port right there in all reality, but the Paladin did end up using a decent amount of cooldowns here to keep him up. And as you can see, the Paladin already used Divine Guardian and his Trinket, which is pretty huge. And here we do have a little bit of a miscommunication on which target we're going on. We end up having to peel the Warrior off our Priest, and I wasn't expecting that early, but we do go on this Warrior. We do have a nice switch here. The Warrior's out of line of sight, so he gets some nice free damage on him, and in comes a Smoke Bomb to put a little bit of extra oomph on the damage to make them be defensive, because the real goal of this is to keep this team defensive. If a Warrior Warlock Paladin is able to even barely go offensive on your Priest, it's pretty much over. And you'll see later in the game they do get a chance to go offensive, and it's nuts. We almost die because of it. So right here I know they're switching to me, and I'm going to be taking a ton of damage, so I need to get this Warrior off me ASAP, because we really want to try to kill this Paladin, because Paladins are so easy to kill in this expansion. It's pretty ridiculous, but unfortunately we really can't get a good switch on this Paladin, and we're forced to have to go back on the Warrior because we don't want a Warrior just running rampant across the map and just destroying everyone. And I throw a defensive Cyclone up on this Warlock to limit some damage, but he has his Trinket up, but he uses his Trinket, so that means he'll be susceptible to another Cyclone or a Fear later in the game, so that's not that bad, considering we're not taking too much damage at this point. And now we've both finally connected with this Warrior. We're putting a ton of damage into him. He's playing really defensive, and I'm going to go over and try to run over and Cyclone the Paladin, but he's playing really smart, and look how far away he is. A good Paladin is always going to make it near impossible to get a Cyclone off. He's going to be standing probably even farther away than that, but I'm taking a ton of damage to interrupt that Drained Soul, and they're really pumping tons of damage into me, and I believe I have to pop Survival Instincts here. I'm not quite sure. I don't think I popped it quite yet. I think I got a Power Word Shield and a Renew and a bunch of things right here, so I don't think I pop it quite yet, but I'm pretty sure I do have to pop it later in this game. And a lot of you guys notice that I don't pop Survival Instincts until like I'm literally gonna die. I probably should have popped it a little earlier. This is probably a little bit too risky. If my Priest didn't have that amazing life grip right there, I definitely would have died. And this Warrior's taking advantage of the Fury of Angerforge bug, so he has 26,000 attack power roughly. So yeah, he's doing retarded damage to me, and there's not too much we can really do right now other than play defensive while we get our feet back on the ground. And I do get a defensive Cyclone on the Warlock, so we are able to get our feet back on the ground a little bit right here, since he did blow his Trinket on a previous Cyclone. So now my Rogue's having to play really defensively right now. He's taking a ton of damage. I Trinket that Fear offensively. I know this Warrior's in a bad spot. I Cyclone the Paladin as soon as the Warrior comes back into the Paladin's line of sight. And right now we have the advantage. I had a ton of bleeds on the Warrior. He's taking a ton of damage. I get a Trinket proc. I'm pumping ridiculous amounts of damage into this Warrior. I'm going to go for a Prediction Interrupt right here. Unfortunately, it does not go through, but I go and try to hardcast the Cyclone, and the Warlock spell locks me, which is great because I'd much rather get spell locked than my Priest. And I'm pretty sure we would have killed that Warrior regardless, even if it wasn't at that particular moment, because we had everyone on our team playing aggressive, and when everyone on the team is playing aggressive in Feral Rogue Priest, it's pretty nuts. And that'll do it for this video. If you like this video, be sure to thumbs up, favorite, and comment on it so Zyback TV can grow. Also, be sure to check out the vent version of this video where you can hear what we say in Arena and how we communicate while we fight this team. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you guys next time.